in my mind, I feel like I had to do songs. That's why I did a song, children's songs. That's why I do a lot of songs. I did Thug Holiday. If I could have dedicated to Pac, the only reason why I didn't dedicate certain records to Tupac, because I didn't want nobody to think that I was clout chasing. I didn't want nobody to think I was trying to capitalize off losing a very talented, influential brother, one of the biggest names ever in rap. That I don't think nobody should try to exploit that for self-gain and profit. Other than that, I would have made an album called For Tupac. And I would fight any nigga who disrespect him. If you don't like Pac, I don't like you. Tupac and Michael Jackson, don't say nothing about them.
Because I just be thinking it's like hating ass rappers and industry. Because clearly, Pac put on for the West Coast more than anybody has probably put on for the West Coast and left a legacy for the West Coast to follow to this day. And not saying that they don't have no other big rapper. Shout out to Snoop Dogg, that's one of my favorite rappers, but clearly, to live and die in LA, Pac went out there and really put on for that town. You heard? And I do believe that was kind of whack of them to not even give him an honorable mention if they feel like he wasn't from LA, so he shouldn't deserve to be on the list, but he put on for LA more than most of the people on that list. He helped shape the music in LA. Not saying that NWA and all these people, yeah, but when it came to the era of the kids like me that was listening to it, we wanted to go to LA because of Pac. You heard? Remember DPG and all that happened already. Pac came after that. Pac started putting a whole new flavor on this. We wanted to go there, you heard? After we saw Boys in the Hood and all that type of shit, we started getting open off LA, and Pac just started opening it up to a whole nother level of shit.
I got a problem with this. You know, people are always saying that Snoop, Dr. Dre, us, everybody, we was jealous of Tupac. How can we be jealous of Tupac and we made Tupac? We made Tupac. We made Tupac.
Many people forget that Tupac was already a major star before joining Death Row Records. His first album helped establish his name in hip-hop, and his second album produced major hits that pushed him into the mainstream. By 1995, before signing with Death Row, he had already built a large fan base and achieved platinum success. Most importantly, his album Me Against the World reached #1 on the Billboard charts before he joined the label. That means he already had a #1 album before California, Love, and Before All Eyes on Me. Death Row did not create Tupac's career. The label helped expand a career that was already successful. The chart history shows that Tupac was already one of the biggest names in hip-hop before signing with Death Row Records.
I'm the reason why he on Death Row. I told
tell
Suge
me
to go
about
get
that,
Cuz.
man.
I told Suge go get Cuz.
Let me rewind you there. Pac is already established. Pac, catches his case. Everybody that should have got Pac out didn't get him out. You know what I'm saying? So history is written that Suge goes and get Tupac out of prison, which he did.
Right.
But that was on a Snoop Dogg call.
Suge was told by Snoop Dogg, Cuz, we need to get Cuz and put him on our team. We hearing bad shit about him behind the wall.
Wendy landed her first high-profile feud in the mid-90s with none other than the biggest rapper in the world at the time, Tupac Shakur. In 1993, the rapper and 3 others were charged and convicted of SA of a woman. While serving his 18-month sentence, Wendy was spreading rumors on her radio show that Tupac himself became a victim of the very crime he was charged with.
See, the media, they make me act like I would act. I'm in jail, they reporting that I'm getting raped in jail. I'm sitting in jail, niggas is banging on my door going, Pac! Win! Why you ain't say that? What's going on?
If I tell you that Tupac was having trouble in the New York City jail, this Tupac Shakur, by the way, to me, the realest rapper ever in the history of rap music. But he had a problem and he called Fat Joe. I'm sorry, it really happened. But I did not tell, everybody think I tell every story. I did not tell a story. I got a story to tell, right? So I did not tell a story. And Musa from The Outsiders, one day he's getting interviewed and he's like, yo, Fat Joe never tells this story, but let me tell you what Tupac told me. He had problems. Fat Joe sent the Puerto Ricans, they held him down.
What's one of the biggest misconceptions about your cousin Tupac Shakur that you've heard from the media or people who've never met him?
Pac is ubiquitous. Like, he's all over social media. He's all over the news, but I am hearing a lot of misconceptions. Shout out to the person I'm about to mention, Fat Joe. Got a lot of respect for Fat Joe, but I have to disagree with something that he's been saying on podcasts about Pac calling him about some Puerto Ricans putting pressure on him in Clinton. I'm not saying Joe is lying, I'm just questioning it. The reason why I'm questioning that is because I know how the Puerto Ricans roll in prison. And I know Joe is strong in New York with Puerto Ricans. But as far as Tupac being in prison and having to call Joe to keep the Puerto Ricans off his back because they think that he got beef with Joe in the street or some, I don't know about that. Mind you, I was going to visit Pac every month. If Pac was having problems with anybody in prison, I would have been the first to know about it. Tupac wasn't in a prison where people was going to walk all over him. That wasn't going to be the situation. He was in prison with people who were strong.
Absolutely.
Tupac didn't want our people protecting him, but I do not see Tupac being pressured enough to where he has to call Fat Joe.
There's been rumors that Tupac was assaulted in prison. You being one of the people who visited him, speak to that and put that rumor to rest, please.
No, that's not true. That's a lie. That's a flat out lie that Tupac will get violated in jail.
We hearing bad shit about him behind the wall.
And so I'm in the radio one day and they asked me the question, yo, Joe, what you think about Tupac and all that? I said, yo, he's cool, but if they step to me, it's gonna be some shit.
Yeah.
So I said that on the radio, not knowing Tupac's locked up upstate in New York. The Puerto Ricans hear that, and they're, Poppy, Tupac got beef with Fat Joe, no. And then we was still in the street hard.
Right.
So I said that in the interview, you gotta be careful, your words could really create problems. So then I get on a phone call from Greg Nice, who pretty much put me in the game, one of my brothers. He said, yo, Joe, I got Pac on the other line. So I pick up, and then Tupac, I don't want to elaborate too much, guys, but what I'm saying is Tupac was like, yo, these Puerto Ricans is on me. Like, you said something in the radio. I don't got a problem with you, Joe. Like this, I know what's up. This. You know, we sent the kite out to the Puerto Ricans and be like, nah. This ain't about that. Not on the strength of me, don't do that. And then they wind up being real tight with Tupac.
We hearing bad shit about him behind the wall.
Was Tupac having issues when he was in prison? Because I know Snoop, he always say that he was hearing bad things, so he told Suge Knight to get him out. And I just did an interview with Corrupt, and he was saying the same thing.
That's definitely, Corrupt, my man, I like him, but that's a false narrative that I think Snoop was pushing. You know what I mean? Pac, for a fact, he wasn't really... He had a lot of, he used to send us pictures, and his pictures on the internet when he was taking pictures with New York dudes up in Clinton, like these the homies. He never hating on Pac, and you could just listen to their interviews, but they come off like they friends, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, nah, I had to tell Suge to get him out because he was getting punked in Clinton, and I'm the one who's like, oh, come on, bro. We all know that what you're trying to do. You're trying to hate on the down low, you know what I mean? But trying to pretend you know what I mean? Like very clever hating going on, you know what I mean? Nas almost got him, man. I'm a gangbanger, If Nas would have caught him slipping, he would have been washed. Like all this hate and stuff, you know what I mean? So what they doing is that, because Pac is not here to speak and refute these things, so they doing it in a way where it's not straight hate. Like the majority of the people ain't gonna look at it as them being haters, but people like us, we know where that's coming from.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know what I mean?
People that don't know the story, they gonna look at that and they gonna be like, oh, what's the issue? He just telling his side of the story. He loved Pac.
Yeah, he loved Pac because he told Suge to get him out of jail because they was punking him in Clinton.
They was telling him, I had little girls writing to me crying, saying you got in jail, I'm so sorry. That shit right there is what will fuel the anger that will never die. I had to write letters to 1,000 little kids explaining to them that I would be dead before a motherfucker, and you know that.
We hearing bad shit about him behind the wall.
Not true. 100,000,000%. All right. So Wendy Williams, the shock jock back in the day, said that over and over and over and over again. Okay. First, I interviewed the warden when he was at Rikers, who is a great source and someone I've known through someone else for I know him, his reputation. He's like, he certainly wasn't here. I can guarantee you there's a 0% chance he was to Rikers. Goes to Clinton. It wouldn't have been possible. That's it. And I interviewed a bunch of guys who served with him. I interviewed a guy who was a corrections officer who actually was the one guy who worked there who wasn't a racist piece of shit. and he became pretty tight with Tupac, right? His name was Michael Christopher. And they all explained like where Tupac was, where he was held. It just wasn't possible. And I 100% am certain, I mean, I have to say 99.9% because I wasn't there, that he was not in prison.
You know what it sound like to me? I think Snoop heard the Wendy Williams rumors and probably ran with it. Only person that was saying Pac was being violated around that time was Wendy. I remember hearing Sugay saying Pac was having a hard time in prison, but he didn't say anything about him getting violated. Paperwork was revealed later that show Pac was having issues in prison, but not with prison inmates, but with prison guards. Pac being violated was a complete rumor. Hearing does say they made Pac is crazy. My OGs was playing Pac music way before his death row days, and some people actually like Pac earlier music more than the music he made on death row. If you think about Pac deepest tracks were before death row, I want to thank all of the new subscribers and everyone that been rocking with the channel. I appreciate it. If you like the content, make sure you like the video. Let me know if you like this style of content on the channel. Thanks for watching. Hype the video and catch you next time. Peace.